So going out of Egypt then means essentially connecting more and more and more to the creator of the universe and becoming a servant to the creator of the universe. Becoming a servant, what happens to a person when he becomes a servant of the universe? Again, it's like the best example is King David. It says King David, he was so dynamic, right? A person that is not a servant of the king of the universe, of God, he can become depressed, and he can give up, and he can become angry, and he can become this, and sometimes for no reason at all. But a person that is really connected to the creator of the universe, as he never becomes depressed, he never gives up. Of course, there are more challenges, more responsibilities. It's more difficult. We see, look at King David's Psalms. You can see the troubles that King David had. But if he would not have been the connected to serving God, as could be, he wouldn't have so many troubles. But on the other hand, he would have been less of a human being, because the troubles that King David met up with were people that were really bad people, and people that, without meeting David, they would think that they were good, and they would have wrecked the world. Dog and Achitophel, tremendous people. So it's the same thing. Going out of Egypt means going out of your own false egotism and connecting and wanting to be the servant of God. Everybody has to serve somebody. So you can serve your own selfishness, and call that freedom, or you can serve the creator of the universe and call that freedom. But the creator of the universe is creating you right now, and he cares about you, and that's the idea of the Jews, is to bring everyone to do this, to serve God. So that's going out of Egypt. Okay, says the Rebbe, the going out of Egypt was only the beginning. It opened up the channels to the future redemption. Okay, Herschel, opened up the channels to the future redemption. And therefore it says that the prophet Micha says that the future redemption will be like going out of Egypt, even though the future redemption will be infinitely greater. Page Lamed Zayin, right? Yeah. I think now we are on. No, 1 second. Now we are on. Wait a second, I got the wrong page here. Now we are on paragraph 3. I turned to the wrong page here. Huh? Chapter 3 or chapter 4? Excuse me. I have a different sefer than you do. Shin Yud Gimel, that's where it should be. There it is. Oh, Gimel. Yes, is that what we got up to? No, I think we got up to Daled. We got up to, Do you remember? I'm learning this in another place, and I don't remember if I learned this with you or with the other group. Okay, we'll do Gimel again. Won't hurt. Amnam al Pizeh, according to this Tzarech Lam, we have to understand Mashakatuv, that what it says, like the days of your going out of Egypt. Erenu niflot, I will show you miracles. What was Micha talking about when he said, like the days of going out of Egypt, I'll show you miracles? Madua, why? Madame hakasav, why does the Torah compare a niflot, the miracles of the future redemption, to the miracles of the past redemption? To the miracles, why does the prophet compare the miracles that are going to be in the future redemption to the miracles that were when they left Egypt? We just finished explaining that the miracles when they left Egypt were of a very low level, because what do we say are the main miracles? That the Jews began to be aware of God. That was a very low awareness, very low type of awareness. True, it was a beginning, and it was the only beginning, the first time it ever happened, but still, it's incomparable to what's going to be in the future redemption. And the future redemption is even going to be the raising of the dead. So what type of a revelation is that going to be? Incomparably greater than going out of Egypt. If so, why did the prophet Micha compare the future redemption to the going out of Egypt. Moving, and even more is not understood. According to that opinion that says that we do mention the going out of Egypt also in the days of the Mashiach. Right in the beginning of the Haggadah it says, Kol Yemei Chayecha, it says Lavia Loilos, and some people say no, to bring the days of the Mashiach, to include the days of the Mashiach. We will talk about the going out of Egypt. Even in the days of the Mashiach, at first glance, since the revelations that are going to be in the future will be greater, much more, incomparably, to the revelations that were in Yetzias Mitzrayim. Okay, Herschel? Lama, why? Yazkiru, why will we mention going out of Egypt even then? I think this is where we got up to. Why is it in the future redemption it'll be so amazing that why will we mention it's like they say, let's take an example, just entered in my mind. I remember when the first man went to the moon. So they said it's a small step for man and a big step for mankind. Right? And they put his mother on the imagine putting his mother on the television and says that's a step. I remember the first time he took a step when he was a baby. That was a small step. What are you comparing? The first step he took when he was a baby to this. This is a small step for mankind, jumping from the earth to the moon. Right? It's incomparable. The step in going from the earth to the moon is incomparable to a baby taking his first step. Maybe not for the mother, right? Here's the same type of a thing. How can you? The future redemption is going to be incomparably greater, right? Incomparably greater. It'll make it like every child that takes his first step, his parents are happy, but it's no big deal. Here you have billions of people walking around. All of them took their first step. How many people made it to the moon? Right? That's a question if they really did with the flag wave. But nevertheless, how many people make it to the moon? Right? So that's an amazing thing, going to the moon. The same thing going out of Egypt, infinitely more. Infinitely more. The going out of Egypt is like taking the first step. The future redemption is going to be something infinitely more. It's like going to Mars. Right? Taking infinitely greater, because the whole idea is what an awareness of God do we have? What we have. And the future redemption is going to be such an awareness of the Creator that we're going to realize that all of the going to the moon and the billions of dollars and the conquering of the world, whatever, it's just was small change. It was nothing. We were occupied in meaningless things. It's known if so, why do we mention going out of Egypt? Why will we mention going out of Egypt in the future redemption? It's known, the explanation of this is, like it's written in another mimer, Divrei Maskal, to the previous Rebbe, Tebagulat Mitzrayim, that when the Jews left Egypt, Nitchadesh, there was invented for the first time, Kolalos Inyan HaGeula. The whole idea that there could be such a thing as Geula, redemption. There was invented this whole idea that it could be that a whole entire nation could raise up their consciousness and be aware of the Creator and serve the Creator. It's not like the Eastern religions, when the person becomes aware of God, he becomes less active. He becomes less active, he becomes more calm, he becomes more placid, he can sit. I remember I read this book, I used to be into this, some guy that he reached the highest of levels of meditations, and he's been sitting on this mountain in Tibet for like 20 years, and he didn't eat anything. 20 years, didn't eat or drink. I remember I was reading these books, I was very interested, getting to these higher levels of consciousness. And then I finally got to the master Swami, Amadar, his name had like 53 letters or something like that. And he has been sitting on these mountains of Tibet for 20 years, has not eaten anything. I thought, this is what I'm aiming at? This is my goal? I thought, no. For sure my mother is not going to be proud of me if she sees, this is not for me, Right? Wasted all the money. I mean, to be, calm and placid, and let the dirt settle in the river and let everything be clear.
20 years on a mountain without food. He was dead.
It's probably what.
That's why it was called.
Probably in the nighttime, he chopped the sandwich over there. Right? Didn't
He was dead.
Inyan Geula. Niftach Hatzinor al Kol HaGeula. He opened up the pipe. This, going out of Egypt, means the Jewish people opened up the pipeline for the whole general idea that there could be an elevated consciousness, you want to call it an elevated responsibility, that's a better word. An elevated feeling of meaning of the world, of responsibility to the creator of the universe, that there could be a feeling of this in a general way for a whole nation. This began in the redemption from Egypt. Now, in the future, it says that the whole world is going to be. That's the whole novelty. All of the non-Jews also, they'll realize what God really is. The Rambam says, the Maimonides, that all of the non-Jews will drop all the religions. All the religions are lies. Sheker nachalu avoteim. Even the nicest religions, there's some religions that are really, have really wonderful ideas and principles. All of them are based on nice spiritual ideas. Most of them, they're, at least they contain such ideas. Nia Golius shel Acher Golus Mitzrayim. This contained, going out of Egypt, this contained the possibility for all of the future redemptions. Gam alagula tida, also for the future redemption. The ultimate redemption of all mankind from their own selfishness. Hagam sheti yegeula na'alit yoter. Even though this were all of the redemptions that came after going out of Egypt were infinitely greater in consciousness than going out of Egypt. Al derech hayadua, like it's known, Yetzias Mitzrayim was a hachana, was a preparation for Matan Torah. Like it says, that's what God said to Moshe at the burning bush. And the burning bush was on Mount Sinai. And God said to Moshe, you're going to take all the Jews out of Egypt, and by the merit of the fact that they're all going to serve God on this mountain, they're going to get the Torah. That's why I'm taking them out. Even though the whole idea of the Geula and the redemption was B'shas Matan Torah Davka, was at the time of Matan Torah, and when the Jews got Torah, it says Charut al Luchot, that the letters were carved in. It says Al Tikre Charut al Cherut. Cherut means freedom. The Ein Ben Cherut al Mishosek b'Torah. Only people who learn Torah are free. It's very interesting, in Kfar Chabad, there's all sorts of people. So there's somebody in Kfar Chabad that he has like a hostel for people that are not 100% there. They have to live on pills and everything. And if they don't take the pills, they get they're angry and they get depressed. They get this, suicidal and manic and also. Anyway, so these people, they do take their pills. They're all monitored and everything like that. But they still walk around and sort of, what are they looking forward to in life? Huh? Nowadays, it's not so much sedated as first of all, they know they're taking pills. A lot of people say they have manic depressive, right? It used to be, people used to take a thing called lithium. I don't know if it still is anymore. But people that took lithium, they were normal. You couldn't tell the difference between them and anybody else. But they knew themselves that they were taking it. Okay, it doesn't make any difference. The point is, I'm trying to make is that these people, I talk to them a lot, and I'm friendly with them, and I listen to them, and whenever I see them, I say hello, but yes, there's somebody that sits there who's also, he collects money, he sits in the corner, but he learns Torah with these guys. He learns Torah, he sits and he learns with them Torah, and he learns with them Gemara sometimes, and he learns them, they're not. And he explains it very, very slowly. And you can see that when they sit and they learn, you can see how happy they are. And they have discussions with him, and they're laughing. And they're just like totally different people, right? It's really quite amazing to see. Now, maybe you can say that they would be happy even if they were learning mathematics. It could be, just because they felt that they were accomplishing something. It could be. I mean, you can pretty much explain anything genuine by explaining it in an ingenuine way. That was Freud and Adler and these places. They were experts at that. They could take anything that was genuine and analyze it away and reduce it to, the reason you love your mother is because of the Oedipus complex, and the reason you love your father, there's no such thing as true love. Why do you love your kids? Because it's social and because of this, and you want to have a standing, you don't want them to turn against you, and you want to get a percentage of their paper route or whatever. There's no end. There's no end to the how do you say, ulterior motives that these freaks found out. I mean, they just destroyed generation. When I was only Freud, the great genius, he destroyed millions of lives, huh? It's like they say that Adler, somebody came into him and he said, you don't have an inferiority complex. You really are inferior. That genuine, there's nothing genuine except for bad things. It's genuinely, neurotic is genuine. It's like but it's not so. It's not so. Hagam, there is such a thing as being genuine, and the Jews got a taste of it at Mount Sinai. Cherus, when they got the Torah, they were free. And so it is even today. Hagam, even though She'ikar and Yenagula, even though the main thing of the redemption was that when Jews got the Torah. Why? That's when they were really free spiritually. Because before Matan Torah, they were the decree of Elyonim Yordula Taktonim. The upper worlds didn't come down and the lower worlds didn't go up. It says before Matan Torah, the spiritual was spiritual and the physical was physical. Okay, Herschel. How are you moving so it's understood? Sha'ad Matan Torah, that up until Matan Torah, even after the Jews got out of Egypt, there was not yet emitit geula. There was not yet the true idea of cherus, of freedom to the lower worlds. They had not yet gotten the Torah. If so, they had not yet gotten a true revelation of what God is. Nevertheless, when the Jews left Egypt, nitan hakoach, there was given the ability, the potential, gam ala geula, also on the future redemption. Shenaseh b'matan Torah, that was made, I'm sorry, not just the future redemption, the redemption that was made in Matan Torah, and al derech zeh, similarly, gam b'nogea l'geula atida, and also for the future redemption. So when they left Egypt, it was possible. They realized it was possible. It's almost like they have, a paralyzed man. There was some person, I don't remember what his name is, but he was paralyzed from the neck down. Or maybe just his legs were paralyzed. I think just his legs. And he worked little by little. He would go in his backyard when no one was looking. He would pull himself out, drag himself out. He would lift himself up on the gate that went around his house, and he would force himself to move, his legs to move, until finally he got a little bit of motion out of his legs. A little bit of motion out of his legs. And he worked at it and he worked at it and worked at it until he actually became a track runner. And he became, somebody mentioned him in some book. He actually became, what does it mean? He learned that it was possible to jump out of imprisonment. And so he moved a little bit his toe, right? Oh, it was possible. They told me I couldn't move anything. He moved his toe. From then he said, if it's possible to move one toe, so I can move another toe. He was satisfied with that. What was the big thing was not that so much that he won the Olympics or whatever he won. I don't even think it was the Special Olympics. I think not that, but the idea, the first thing, that was really the big accomplishment. That he was able to move his toe, going from 0 to 1, is infinitely greater than to go from 1 to 1 trillion. Right? If you think about it. As far as qualitatively goes. So the going out of Egypt, it's true, they just went from 0 to 1, right? It's like the baby taking his first step. What's the big deal? But to go from 0 to 1 is incredible, right? There's no way you can do it. No matter how many zeros you have, you can't make 1. You put a lot of ones together, you can make 1 billion. You can make 1 trillion. So really, in a way, going out of Egypt was the main thing. What's it coming to tell us? that we are also, it's a big subject now. They have this coaching, and it's a very good thing. Coaching means that a person can go out of who he thinks he is, his own limitations, to do good things. Coaching also, can tell you to do bad things. There was Hitler and then Stalin and these people, go out, we're going to conquer the world, you don't think it's possible, it is possible, we can do anything. So it can become very, very selfish also. It's true, it's going to be selfish. But the idea of going out of Egypt, that's the first time that anyone went out of his limitations. Before going out of Egypt, there were always people that conquered the world. It says Paro conquered the world after the Jews left Egypt. Alexander conquered the world, and the Persians conquered the world. And this, imagine a person sitting in his house and saying, "I'm going to conquer the world." Right? One person saying, "I'm going to conquer." How many people used to live in the world? I don't know, 10 million, 100 million, whatever. I'm going to conquer. All the people are going to be under me. And that's a jump. That's a wonderful idea. Going out of himself, and that's like the ultimate of coaching. Going out of all of your limitations. Well, the Torah says that the biggest limitation you can go out of is out of yourself, out of your own egotism, and to become connected to the creator of the whole entire universe. But in order to do that, you're not the leader. You have to be the servant. You have to be the servant. But it says that Eved Melech Melech, if you're the servant of the king, then you're like the king. Because you can carry out what the king wants in the world. It's pretty good. It's pretty amazing. But it means that even a little deed that you do, which is good, is worth more than a tremendous, amazing deed that's bad, right? Napoleon took over whatever is all of Europe, right? Amazing accomplishment. But the fact of the matter is, it was evil. He was an evil person and he killed a lot of people. But it was an amazing accomplishment. For one Jew just to say, that he doesn't put on tefillin, to do one commandment, is infinitely greater than what Napoleon did, because he jumps out of himself. Napoleon just became a bigger ego. Here's a person jumping out of himself to become connected to the creator of the universe. So he says that's the idea of going out of Egypt. Hine, Al Derek says, Begula Yetzias Mitzrayim, that when the Jews left Egypt, Nitan HaKoach was given the potential. Gam also, Halagula Tida also, on the future redemption. Mikav, and since Shebashas Matan Torah, the time of going out of the receiving of the Torah. Haya Kavar, there already was Me'ayin, something like the revelation of La'atid Lavo, of the future to come. When the Jews left Egypt, already was the potential of the future redemption. Right? Just like this person, the moment that he moved his little toe, right, a little tiny bit, that was already the beginning of him winning the Olympics. El Shebashas Matan Torah, the time of Matan Torah, Haya Gilui, the revelation was, Lefisha, was only temporary. When the Jews left Egypt, and when they got the Torah, it came from God's essence, but it was only temporary. Rak Lefisha Ulati Lavo, but in the future to come, will be a Gilui, the revelation of God will be Ba'ofen Tamidi Nitzchi. It will be constant, and it will be eternal. The highest revelations will be constant in this world. In other words, people will simply see the truth, that we are creations of God, and God loves us, and God creates us for a purpose. And the purpose is to reveal more godliness in this world. Why exactly God did this? It says Nisavi, that's what he desired. But just suffice it to say that that's the purpose of life. Other people don't ask the purpose of life. Why is it that if I make $1 trillion, it makes me feel good? Why? Why is it the person wins the elections, right? He feels good. Why? What do you mean, why? He won. No, why does winning why doesn't losing feel good? Who made it that winning makes you feel good? Well, I don't know why. That's just the way things are. That's just the way life is, right? When you get what you want, you feel good. That's just the way. Who decided that? Who passed the law of gravity? Where did it come from? That's just the way it is, right? Just nature. Well, who made nature? No, nature is nature. So it comes out nature, we're saying nature is God. That's something like Spinoza said, something like that. Nature is God. There's no good, there's no bad. There's nature. Okay, it's a way to live your life, but that's Egypt. That's living in the verse. The fact of the matter is there's a creator of nature, and the creator of nature cares about you. And it's an infinitely, I don't want to call it real consciousness that cares about you, that creates the world. We're not just talking about a level of consciousness that's just in this big or something. We're talking about God actually creates us.
We're not talking about philosophy.
Not talking about a philosophy. Not philosophical. Philosophical is removed from reality. I mean, I learned philosophy in university, and I was quite amazed that all these philosophies rarely come to any sort of actual results in reality. Except that philosophers are superior people, but except for that, nothing really comes out of it.
They get a job.
Just your attitude toward, the meaninglessness of the world changes a little bit. You accept the meaninglessness of the world, or you think about the meaninglessness of the world, or you can postulate, and you can make all these theories, and you can impress your friends, and you can impress yourself, and you can make a book. Write books about it.
They get a job.
Maybe get a job. I don't know, philosophy. Open up a philosophy. A philosophy clinic. Have you got philosophical problems? $20 an hour. Huh? What? Plato of Nietzsche. Ella Shabashazman Torah, the time on Torah, Haya Giloi Rak Lafisha was only temporary. Lasi Lavo in the future will be the Giloi open to Midi Vinitzchi. It will be constant key because Hagiloi, the revelation then, will be Lo Rak Mitzan Milamaila, not only because of from above, Kibishazman Torah, and Matan Torah. What happened? God did everything on his own. In Matan Torah, the impossible occurred. The creator of the universe actually spoke to and appeared to, it says, Panim lapanim diber Hashem aleichem, spoke face to face with the entire Jewish nation. Everyone saw the creator, and they saw that the creator has a will, has a desire, has a purpose, a reason why everybody is created, a reason for every instant. Ela gam mitzara mata, but also in the future redemption, it won't be just that God does everything like it was when we left Egypt. It'll be because of us. That's the idea of Chassidut. Learning Chassidut ideally gives you a thirst, a desire for revealing God. Okay, Herschel, key. Hanivroim, Yehiyu, Az, because the creations will be then, Betachlit Abirur, the world will be totally purified. And the refinement will be and refined. V'yu kelim, and they will all be vessels for the revelation of God. Lasig dat boram, to be aware of the, consciousness of God. Kefi koach adam. This is the language of the Rambam, the Maimonides, which is a pure, cold law book. Law book. Doesn't have any philosophies over there, no meditations and no this. In the beginning, it talks about the creation of the world. In the beginning, it talks about the creation of the world, just so you'll have a little bit of an idea who the Creator is and who we're serving. And how to come to love the Creator by thinking of His creations. But it says in the future, right near the end of this huge, amazing book, all the laws of the Torah that are going to be, that were the laws of the Holy Temple, everything. In the end, it says that the main accomplishment of Mashiach is that the whole entire world will be only to know God more and more. He said, and therefore the Jews will be in a higher level. People will come to the Jews and ask them, how can I serve God better? The whole world. So the world becomes a complete place, to the resting of the infinite light of God, which is above the ability of man. Man will be different. It says that's the purity of man. Man is Aleph Daled Mem. Aleph is Adam, first man. David, King David. He was the first one to really come and actively fix up, stand against the evil. He was the king. He was the first king of the Jews. And finally, there will be the final king of the Jews, and that will be the Mashiach. The Rambam says that King David was the first Mashiach. He was the first Messiah. And the second Messiah will be the final Mashiach, Mashiach ben David. V'zeu. Okay, 4 more minutes. V'zeu gam kein mash katuv ki meitzei tzcham eretz Yisrael. That's what, now we're on Daled. Paragraph Daled. This is what it means in the days that you left Egypt. Yemei Rabim. Why it says the days you left Egypt. What did Micha, the prophet Micha, what did he say? Said, Ki yemei tzeischam eretz Yisrael eren niflot. Just like the days when you left Egypt, so it will be in the future. I will show you miracles. So the Rebbe says, what's his days business? What's he talking about days? Maybe it's a misprint or something. What do you mean days? The Jews did not leave Egypt in a number of days. They left in one day. And there's even one of the things you're supposed to remember. Zacharet Yom Atzeichem Yisrael. You have to remember the day that you left Egypt. That was the whole accomplishment. Was they left in one day. It was a jump, right? That they just all jumped out in one day. They just left Egypt. They became suddenly free to serve God. One day. What does it mean, the days? Why does it say the days left Egypt? The Kol HaYamim Miyamei Geula Rishon. That every single day, from that day 3,331 years ago, that we left Egypt, every single day since then, multiply 365 by 3,331, every single day, Ara Geula Tira, until the future redemption, Bimei Rabbi Yameinu, which will be quickly now. Hey, Yemei Tzeischam Eretz Yisrael. Every day we have to go out a little bit more from Egypt. Kamavur B'Mayim Rasham, like the previous Rebbe explains over there. Hainu Tamash B'Yetziat Mitzrayim, just like when they left Egypt. Niftach Hatzinu, there was opened up the door, the potential, the possibility. Al Gam Al Geula Tira, also on the future redemption. So it will be also every single day. How do we do it? We'll see. God willing, tomorrow.